Well, hello everybody. Welcome to another WIP Wednesday or Wednesday WIP Knockout video live. I am glad to see you all here. Welcome, Samantha. Hello, hello. All right, so I want to get started pretty quickly on this, giving us 5 minutes to find 3 projects, 3 WIPs somewhere around our home that we can pull together and work on today. I have mine and I will be talking about those in a second. If you don't want to work on a crochet project, you can take the opportunity to color. I know there was somebody that would color something different every 20 minutes that we had sections for, or if you're doing chores or if you're working, whatever you're doing, I'm so glad that you're here. And I hope that we can maximize this structured live sequence today, I guess you would say. All right, so if you are brand new, and again, we have about 4 minutes, so make sure that you're finding your 3 WIPs, your 3 projects that you want to work on. If you're brand new, this is a structured live that's intention is for us to slowly chisel away at some of those WIP projects that we have had lying around our home or stashed in closets or hidden away in totes or somewhere around our home. And we never seem to have the time or the opportunity to give them any attention and wrap them up, finish them up. And so these structured Wednesday WIP knockouts are for us to take those WIPs and give them 20 minutes, just one project, tunnel vision, no attention on nothing but this one project. And 20 minutes is nothing in the scheme of things. Of the entire week, we're giving it 20 minutes. And so we don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, I had to sacrifice doing this in order to do that. Or, oh, I didn't have enough time in the day. Or it's not taking anything away from us at all. And yet it is still making some forward progression in finishing that project. And if we can at least continuously give it 20 minutes a week, eventually it'll be done and we'll be like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. I've wrapped that up. And now you have cleared space on your shelf for a new project, or you've now allowed that thing to move on to its next destination, especially if it was like a gift or had some intention. In any way, that project is now no longer on your to-do list. It's no longer in your head of, oh, it's something that I've got to do. It's wrapped up. So that is the whole point of these lives that I created every Wednesday. We get together at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. We got 2 more minutes. You got 2 minutes to find your 3 projects before I start this timer. I throw up a 20-minute timer and then we can chat. And I will be engaging everyone in the chat. And if you have anything you'd like to talk about, feel free to just kind of send it in there. And I'm going to try to fill the space with some topics. So if you want to give me topics to talk about, that is great. Something to fill the time. Where is the clock? There we are. So we'll have 3 20-minute sessions with 5-minute transition periods between. There's a 5-minute transition between the first and the second 20-minute session. That gives us time to finish a row or stop what we're doing with the one project, put it away, like fold it up cleanly, put it off to the side, grab our second project, get ourselves situated. And then between the second and third time session, we're going to stretch. We're going to do our crochet stretches and, try to be mindful and do all the healthy things. All right. Oh, it's almost time. You guys ready? Welcome, Sunita. Hi, Fran. Hi, Nessa. I'm Mary. Hi, everyone. So glad that you are here. Awesome. All right. I just want to be prepared. Got my little timer right here because I know that we're down to seconds before I will begin our 20-minute timer. And the more we've been doing these, we're I'm getting faster and faster, and these lives are getting more and more structured, so they make better replays if anyone wants to watch them and utilize them after the fact. All right, it's 2:05 for me, so I am now going to hit start for our first 20-minute session. All right, so I got it right here in the background, and now I will be able to share with you some fun stuff that I wanted to talk about today. So I had a moment on Monday where I needed to just rearrange my whole office. Has anybody else ever had that moment where you're like, I need a change. I need something different. I used to do this all the time with my home. I would rearrange the living room. I would rearrange my bedroom. I would rearrange the kids' rooms. I used to be a big rearranger. It just made things feel fresh and new, and the different perspective was so much fun. I haven't been doing that a whole lot lately. So every now and then when it does, like, the urge hits where I need to rearrange furniture, I'm like, okay, I can't do anything else, but I have to do this right now. So I have rearranged my office, and I will give you a little peek. I'm just going to take the camera and just kind of do a little pan. I'm going to try to do it slowly, so that way you don't get like blur sickness or anything, but just a little kind of idea of how things are different. So I'm going to start. You guys see me. So there's the doors to the office, and then that'll look different. See, you see the picture where things will look a little different. My background. Mm-hmm. Now you're going to see mess, because this is all the stuff that I was hiding from you behind the camera. Huh. Okay, so we got some stuff over there, my projects and other things, and then the window. But usually my desk is actually in front of the window right now. But usually my desk would be kind of like angled right here. And so I flipped my desk around instead of having it that angle, which you might remember in some of my videos, where the camera would be angled. My desk was at an angle, and then this is the background. Now my desk has been turned, like flipped around, and like this chair would be facing like the window. I'm facing the wall. To the window, to the wall. So that, I don't know how that's going to work when it comes to any lives or any meetings that I do. So I'm like, you know what? I could just move my chair. And that's what I did. I was like, I still like this background. I still need yarn in my backdrop, so that way, the connection is made. The relevance is there. It makes sense. And it just looks better to have yarn in the background than to have just a window, especially when lighting is an issue. So I don't know how long I will keep this arrangement, but it is what it is. All right. So we got 16 minutes, 30 seconds left on this timer, and I do want to work a little bit on a project. You know what? I might end up only doing 2 projects today, because I want to talk. I want to talk. Oh, thank you, Fran. She says nice office. So I went in my garage and I pulled out another tote, but this time I actually went through it before I started the live, so that way I could quickly go through what I found in the tote instead of wasting time on, let's discover what I haven't seen in over a year. So in this tote, I had, and it's so funny because I keep things in garbage bags. That's how I keep specific projects or materials together, depending on the project that it is. So this bag right here is full of Vanna's Choice yarn that I use for beanies. And I've had this since, oh my gosh, I've had this yarn since before I started my YouTube channel, because I used this yarn to make baby beanies, kid beanies, and I think this yarn in particular was for a reindeer beanie. I made themed beanies and I sold them at markets because people got a huge kick out of themed beanies. And that's why I told people in my video of projects to make and sell for fall and winter was baby beanies, but not boring plain beanies. Make them themed, make them have some kind of characteristic or something different about them. And for me, it was themed beanies. I had some reindeer beanies. I had, oh, what else did I have? That was the aviator beanie was a big one. There were a couple, like I had like a unicorn one. Just in general, it was an animal themed beanie. They were sold instant, like gone. I was always running out of those. So I still have some yarn left over from those projects. I don't know what I'll do with them. I don't know. But this bag right here, 4 years ago, some of you are already revisiting, that's the word, revisiting the video of my pumpkin because we are approaching fall right now. And in that video, I talked about how this is pumpkin number 1 and now how I had ideas for 2 other pumpkins because in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, pumpkins come in all shapes and sizes and I want to represent. And so I had the typical pumpkin shape and I had started another one, but then I started getting all like in my head about analytics and making sure that I actually make to the masses instead of just whatever I want to make. So I ended up putting this one away, but essentially I would love to come back to this one. So this is the start of pumpkin number 2. I love pumpkins that have all those little, what are they called? Warts? Help me out, guys, in the chat. What are these things called on pumpkins that the ones that have like all the little bumps on them? I think they're called warts. I don't know. But I love those pumpkins. Those are some of my favorite. So I was like, how can I create that in like a pumpkin? So this is the start of it where I created a bunch of those. I'd close the top and then I would bunch the sides so it would have that same kind of pumpkin shape that we're so used to, but this one would have the knots. And so that's that. And then the third pumpkin that I wanted to make was a thin but tall one because I think those ones are really cool too. And so I would have the typical pumpkin, I'd have the one with all the knots, and then I'd have the tall one. And eventually I'd probably play with, and especially now that we have so many different yarn colors and there's so many more options nowadays, that I could do like a Cinderella pumpkin. Those ones are really cute. Do like a green pumpkin. I'm a big fan of like the white pumpkin. There's so many options. Sugar Wars. You used the woman. I'm not going to say her name because I have one. That's great. Sounds like pumpkins and squashes. But you know what I mean. You guys know what I mean. But that's funny. The sugar warts. That's funny. All right. And then, this is another one of those instances where I overbought. I don't know if you remember when I showed the video on how to make your own plushy pom-pom. So, a pom-pom made from actual like fur kind of thing. Well, I had bought like 5 different colors. And of course, I didn't get very far because, man, that like taking a yarn needle and like sewing that, it's easy. It's easy, but it hurts your fingers after a while. So I have a whole bag full of squares I need to turn into faux fur pom-poms. But mean, the cool thing is if I actually did it, I could just sell the pom-poms too. Again, another project, another WIP. This project here is one, I created it, but I don't love it. I gave it to my daughter as a poncho. Let's see if I can, sort of, I guess, like this. Here's the hole. The yarn is so soft. It's different. It's got that look to it. It was discontinued. I got it from Hobby Lobby, and I thought I loved the color because you know me and earth tones. It's just me, and it's really soft. And I was like, what do I do with this? So I was like, I'll just make a poncho, you know, because my daughter at the time loved anything soft and comfy. And I was like, she can just wrap herself up in it. And it's like a big poncho, almost like a cape sort of, you know, but it wraps like around you. And I mean, it was definitely something I just threw together just because I needed to use up the yarn and I wanted to clear the space on my shelf. So what I think I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to frog this project because I can do better. You know, I can make something better with this material and it's really nice. So I think I'll eventually frog this and find something else to do with that yarn. And then this here is something that's very special. My daughter, when she once upon a time crocheted, because yes, my kids did learn how to crochet. She loved galaxies. Oh my gosh, so long ago now. I feel bad because I've had this thing for so long, and now, I mean, she's not into it anymore. She used to be interested in galaxy stuff and stars and outer space, and she bought 3 yarns. It's like a purple, a regular blue, and like a midnight blue, kind of 3 yarns. And she just kind of put them together to crochet them together. And she made this, and then she abandoned the project. And I still want to kind of like do something for her with that. So, you know, put it in a tote. Maybe one day. And so those are the things that I saw in this tote and was like, okay, I'm not going to be able to get to any of those in this live today, which, by the way, we have 7 minutes and 20 seconds. So hopefully you are still kicking butt on project number 1. Tunnel vision, working away on that. When we go to our transition, I am going to ask you what you're doing today. What are your 3 projects that you brought with you today? And I'm going to, or if you're not working on projects, like what are you doing while you are watching? I would love to hear. It's just some more content, you know, it's some more things to help me keep talking. Because when we get to the third 20-minute session, I start running out of things to talk about. So I have over here, still going to work on the granny squares, those little granny squares that I eventually want to make a duffel bag out of. I have, this project was in that tote. You may recall this really beautiful men's scarf that I did a tutorial on. The yarn is beautiful. But I think like the project it's nice. And I love how if you block it, it has this really pretty and clean pattern design to it, which is really nice. But if you don't block it, it does this curve like thing because they're a bunch of front posts. So it does this curly thing, which I'm just not a big fan. I want to do something different. I have other ideas, and I had 2 skeins because I had one that I made the project with, and I had one that I was going to do the tutorial with, and these are totally my husband's colors. 100%. He loves orange, because he's a New York Knicks fan and he's a Miami Dolphin fan because they both have orange. And so he's a big orange fan. Plus it has those masculine like browns and grays, and tans. So I think I'm going to frog this. I'm going to undo it. And I'm going to repurpose the yarn and make something else. What? I'm not sure, but I'm going to start with frogging. And then my third project, which I think I'll go ahead since we have 5 minutes left on the clock. This project I have just because I had a bunch of Lily Sugar and Cream yarn. And I was like, what can I do with some of this yarn? And I was like, I can make just a mat to go under my dog water bowls. So I have some Lily Sugar and Cream yarn. I'm doing simple half double crochet stitches, nothing crazy, doing a stripe and trying to literally just eat up yarn. And what's funny is here's a crochet hook. That's what never fails. All these bags that I have projects in, they have a crochet hook included. Oh man, when I finally wrap up all these WIPs, I'm going to have so many crochet hooks. It's going to be amazing. I'm not going to know what to do with myself. Oh, I love that, Nessa. She says that Tunisian crochet would be good for the mat for the doggies. And I agree because Tunisian crochet is such a dense. Now I want to do that. Well, I don't have extended Tunisian crochet, so that at least helps with that decision, because if I had extended Tunisian crochet hooks, I would be starting over on this project, because you're right. And Tunisian is so pretty and it's so much fun, but I don't have the big hooks yet. Got my pillow. 3 minutes. 3 minutes for session number 1. I do need hooks with cords. Yes. How many Tunisian sets do you have, Nessa? I am curious because you do a lot of Tunisian projects, and I'm assuming that you might keep certain hooks with certain projects. So what do you do when you have multiple WIPs and you need to use that same size crochet hook? All right. I want to try to, we have 2 minutes. I want to try to put forth just even the slightest little bit of forward progress on this, on something. Man. Minute 25. I don't know if I want to do this with this project anymore. I made this, I started making this in girly colors when I had Bella, my girly Great Dane, and now I have a bunch of boys. So I might just frog this and create something different. I think I could do better. You know, I think that's just going to be the nature of the beast with some of these projects that I pull out that I haven't touched in a really long time. Because the longer you crochet, the more you grow, the more stitches you are introduced to, the more projects that you want to try. And I'm finding that quite a few of my projects that I haven't touched in a really long time, I come to them and I'm like, No, I'm just not feeling that anymore. I think it could be so much better. And then I'm going to create a whole, you know, I'm going to end up finishing my whips, which would be like, it'll be a while, but when I finish my whips, I'm going to have so much yarn and stuff left over. My next problem is going to be, okay, now destash. Let's do some destash projects to get rid of all the yarn that we've now accumulated from projects we frogged. Oh, our timer has just gone off. So now I'm going to set it to 5 minutes. Oh, turn you off. 5 minutes. There we go. Start. For our transition, please find a spot where you can stop your project, maybe finish your row, put your project away, grab your second project, get yourself all set up, maybe grab something to drink, stay hydrated. And transition. All right. Okay. Nessa answered my question. She said, I have this bad habit of leaving my Tunisian hooks with that's what I'm talking about, you know? I think I have 7 sets with cords, 2 sets of double-ended. You know, I've seen double-ended. How do they work for you? What do you think of them? 7 sets of, 2 sets of double-ended 10-inch hooks and 1 set of double-ended hooks. Yeah, I'm curious about these double-ended hooks. And then Fran says, I got Tunisian hooks from Amazon and I have only made a scarf so far. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Fran. I started playing with Tunisian. Really, I waited until Tony, when I met her at H&H in Chicago, and I was like, all right, Tony, show me how to Tunisian crochet. And she showed me the simple stitch and the purl stitch. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's actually a lot of fun. And so far I have made 2 things. Yeah, I made the washcloth that I did a tutorial for with both the simple stitch and the purl stitch. And then I did a cowl that I have recorded the tutorial. I still need to record the intro of, and I just used the simple stitch, but the cowl turned out beautiful. I think there's definitely a good place for Tunisian where it's just huge. Just, oh, it's beautiful and it's so much fun. I may have an extra set or just single crochets that are metal with stoppers. Yep. One of the set of cords I got from WIP Crochet. Oh, nice. Oh, okay. So it's set up as it could be double-ended or it could be corded. Oh, it is double-ended. I'm sorry. I misread that. You like double-ended. That's good. Okay. You need them for the round. Oh, now I'm curious. There's so much I don't know about Tunisian crochet. My mind is blown. For like sleeves and stuff. That makes sense. Oh, nice. You can create your own double-ended with an interchangeable set. Nice. Just remove the stoppers. Neat. All right, we got 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the clock. I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to find, I guess I'm just frogging today. Like, I'll wait to the 3rd session to do the granny squares, but like frogging this project, I'm frogging that project. I guess I'm just frogging today. That's my WIP Wednesday. I mean, again, forward progress. Forward progress. Let me know what you guys are working on. What are you doing? "30 seconds. Hopefully at this point you have grabbed your second project and you are just ready to begin. You can start now if you want to, or you can wait. Whatever works best for you. All right, there we go. The 5-minute timer is up. And session number 2 has just begun. Go ahead and get started on your second project, tunnel vision on knocking this out. All right. You took a few Tunisian hooks with you, but you forgot to mention it. Oh, probably. Okay. To the retreat. I mean, there's a lot going on, so if that makes sense. You don't leave your regular crochet hooks and projects, just your Tunisian ones. That's funny. Oh, that makes sense. If there are, because with Tunisian, you have all the loops on the hook. Well, I mean, depending on which pass you're going, a forward pass or a return pass. Fran, that sounds like so much fun. I love the name Pink Icing by Karen Woolley. Oh, I wonder, because I follow Karen also. I wonder if I've seen that. It's not completely ringing a bell, but I bet I have. Sounds familiar. All right. So some of the topics that I have written down that I would love to share with you. I was asked a couple months ago if I would be a speaker at a brand new summit that somebody is establishing. So there is this person who has been a part of yarn related events for a really long time. And she decided to create her own event around crochet blankets. And so it's called the Crochet Blanket Summit. And she reached out to me and asked me if I would be interested in being a speaker. And at first, I trying really hard to take stuff off of my plate and that way I can try to manage my time a little bit better and be able to do more. But this one I couldn't pass up because one of the topics that she was looking for a speaker to talk about was crocheting blankets for charity. And I'm like, okay, I have to take that one on. I have to do that one because I am such a huge advocate for crocheting in general, just crocheting anything to make the world a better place, to crochet for charities, nonprofit organizations, helping people that are struggling, helping people that just need something, whether it's a blanket or a beanie or a scarf or, a lapgan, whatever it is, just show love, just spread love and caring into the world. And I know there are a few channels that talk about charity, and I just I would love to be a person that someone can go to if they have questions, or I would love to be a resource essentially for people when it comes to crocheting for charity. And I'd love to bring that to my main channel more so. And so that is one of the one of the things I want to do when I start clearing my plate is I want to start making a lot more of my channel revolve around lots of projects that you could either use personally or you could use to make it for charity. And so essentially I committed to being the speaker, and there was multiple requirements, and I had to sign a contract. I mean, it was all very, very serious. It wasn't just like, hey, would you do this? And great, cool. You know, it was like I had to sign a contract that I would create a video by a certain time and be held accountable, basically. And I came home from the crochet retreat. First, I wanted to make sure that I knocked out, like killed it at the crochet retreat. And I did that. And I was like, great. Okay. Phew. All right. Crochet retreat has been conquered. We did it. Yay. All right. I got home and I was like, okay, now I got to get to this crochet summit. I have to make this video for this crochet summit. And so I was like, okay, just now I finally finished that. Now, you know, I submitted that video. It had to be edited and look professional and all the things. I submitted that in yesterday. Like, phew, okay. Another thing. Checked off the list. All right, cool. And now, those of you who are in the crochet club, we will not have a meeting tonight. I posted once and I adjusted the calendar, the video. So if anyone asks you or if anyone says anything, I will still try to like peek in and make sure that if anyone has any questions, like, hey, I thought there was a meeting tonight. I thought that today's my son's birthday. He turns 14 today, which is amazing. He's having his birthday party Saturday afternoon. And so I was like, okay, so for his birthday, we'll just do dinner, something light. I should still be able to have a meeting. So I was totally thinking, okay, we can have a meeting. But then he made a request for his actual birthday. He wanted to do something very special with the entire family. He wanted Mario Party. I think it's called Mario Party for the Switch. And he wanted the entire family to play Mario Party together after dinner. And I don't know how long that's going to take. He also wanted like a bunch of candy and like the whole thing. So no cake tonight, but I mean, he'll get cake for his birthday party with his friends on Saturday. But he basically essentially wanted like game night with the whole family. And so, oh, thank you so much, Mary. And so I was like, well, crap. Okay. So I moved the meeting. I didn't want to just cancel it because we have some really cool topics we're going over. So I essentially just moved our Wednesday meeting for tonight to Saturday. So looking at the calendar, it's like 3 Saturdays in a row. And I'm like, I mean, at least we're not going longer than a week between seeing each other and hanging out. So yeah, we'll just see each other on Saturday at 11 a.m. in the Crochet Club to go over the topic that we would have gone over tonight. Thank you guys so much. Sunita, I really appreciate it. Yeah, I thought that sounded like a cool night too. My husband I learned a long time ago that I do not want to put anything up to chance. That I hate it when people say, well, you should know me. You should just know. No, you tell me what you want. I don't want to mess it up. So my son, he goes, I would love to, he's like, I want this game. I want a bunch of candy. And I want, he wants money to put in his savings. He's saving up for a computer right now. And I was like, well, I'm not giving you money. I mean, your grandparents can do that. Like, I can't do that for you right now, but I can give you lots of candy. But I was like, but what candy do you want right now? And I was told to be very specific. So he told me very specific candies, and I didn't get everything. I was like, I'm not going to give everything, but I picked the fun ones, and we're going to have them like all the candy, like all set up. We got him the game, and we had to get extra controllers because we didn't have enough controllers for the 4 of us in the family. And so we got controllers for everyone in the family, and we're just going to have this game night with him. like cool. And he's such a teenage boy. His favorite foods are pizza, of course, but he also loves quesadillas, chicken quesadillas. He learned how to make them by like grilling them on a flat top. Got 10 minutes for session number 2. So he can like get all fancy with it now and everything. But yeah, that kid could literally eat a chicken quesadilla like every single day. It's one of those things for him. So I was like, well, what if we just did like a quesadilla bar kind of thing where you lay out all the ingredients and you just kind of like assemble your own quesadilla however you want it. And so that's what we're going to do for dinner. It's like, gotta get creative, you know? Yes. Remember to make sure they're charged ahead of time. For sure. You know, maybe I should, after we're done with this live, I might dig into them and like throw them on the charger real quick because that's valid. That would be such a bummer. Like, oh, we got them for you, but they're dead. Like, can't use them. Valid. La, la, la. All right, that's true. All right. I'll make sure, yes, get them on a charger right after this live. Make it happen. That's true. Very. Oh, and the other thing is, I think there's a movie that just got on the website that we, subscribe to, and he's been waiting for this movie, so we also might watch a movie tonight. It's all about him. All about him. So cool. 14. Oh my gosh. All right, so next thing on the list that I would love to talk to you guys about. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the next thing I have, I think I'm going to talk about the Volare Pillow giveaway. If you are unaware, I have a Volare Pillow giveaway happening on my main channel right now. I'm pointing it out because every single time I host a giveaway, every single time, I get multiple people saying, I didn't know you were having a giveaway, and they're frustrated and they're upset. And I get it. I mean, if you didn't know something was happening and you wanted to be a part of it, but didn't feel like you had the opportunity to, that would be frustrating. So I gave people 2 weeks to enter into this giveaway. I've been trying to promote it as much as possible, and I want to mention it here just in case, because I just not leaving anything to chance, giving people lots of opportunity to see it and be a part of it. But I'm hosting my first ever Volare Pillow giveaway, and I'm really excited to be able to do that. It's a limited edition pillow cover, Americana, and I'm surprised. I'm definitely surprised by how many people. I guess I am and I'm not. How many people are just in love with the Americana cover? There's a lot of people that love Americana, and it is really neat. I feel like it's niche. It's just, it's not a niche that I necessarily gravitate towards, but it's cool. It's definitely cool. A lot of people were like, no, I'm not going to give it to anybody. I'm going to keep it myself. Like, I mentioned in the video, I need people to comment so I can use the random comment picker. And I asked, hey, if you need help with something to put in the comment section, I'm curious, would this pillow be for you, for a family member, or for a friend? And there were a couple people that said a family member. I thought that was really sweet, but most people were like, no, that'd be for me. I was like, awesome. That's so cool. What's really neat is I'm sure this isn't going to be the only Volare pillow giveaway I ever do. I'm sure I'll do more in the future. But it's just been a really fun experience, and I want to make sure that I mention it in case anyone here didn't know I had it going on. You can hop on over there. I announced the winner on Saturday, and I'm going to announce it earlier in the morning. Because obviously the afternoon I'm going to be at a birthday party, and I have no idea how long that birthday party is going to be. 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And so I'd rather just announce the winner in the morning, and then people can come visit the video when throughout the day as it's convenient for them. Okay, so finished frogging that one project. Now I'm on to this project. All right. Oh, hi, Pam. Thank you so much for checking in on us. Apparently today I'm frogging. I did not anticipate that. That was not the plan. That was not the plan. But, I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes things just happen, and it'll be for the best, I am sure. But thank you for saying hi. I love that. And then this week, guys, is I'm releasing the last square tutorial for the sampler blanket crochet along project that I'm hosting. We're doing the last square. And then after this, we are doing borders and joins. At the end of September, this project will be all the videos for this project to wrap it up will be finished. It'll be complete. It's crazy how long we've been working on that project. And so for me, I feel like the end of September, I will have wrapped up and completed some pretty big things. And November and October, November, December, I'm probably going to go light on the material that I release on YouTube and prep really hard for some awesome stuff in 2025. I have a lot of people that have been asking me to do a temperature blanket in 2025. And I'm like, yeah, let's bring back Mother Nature, have some fun with her, do something different. But I am like, okay, what can I do that's different? Because 2023 sampler blanket, we did rose. And then I just did this other stitch sampler blanket in 2024, which were squares of individual stitches. So I'm like, okay, I think when it comes to 1 minute and 30 seconds, I think when I do my next crochet along project, I'm not going to focus so much on stitches learning new stitches, I'm going to focus on just creating a really pretty project. And I've had some people get real curious about doing something round, doing a circular blanket. I'm like, ooh, that sounds very interesting. So still got a few things obviously nothing is set in stone or pinned down, but that just sounds very intriguing to me. It sounds very different. And I think we're all in we all need a little bit of different right now. I'm just seeing a lot of similar things. And I want to offer something different. 10 seconds. Okay. Well, I got caught up with an end that was woven in. All right. So I'm going to give us 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Right here. To finish your row, wrap up your project, whatever you were doing, give you that transition, put your project away nice and neatly. And then I would like you, when you are done with that, just go ahead and stand up. Just stand. Oh, Mary, don't go to sleep. We're stretching. We're about to stretch. Just by standing, you're going to do so much for your body. It's going to help. Blurry pillow down. Did you do the 2023 temperature blanket, Mary? I've never done one, but I'm not a fan of temp blankets. Personally, that was a big thing for me too, was, losing interest. I was worried. And that's why you did the mood blanket. Yeah. So when I was setting up for the 2023 temperature blanket, I was taking a lot of things into consideration. I was like, okay, I understand that temperature blankets have a tendency to get really long. It's something that we're all prepped ahead of time, like, especially if you're doing every single day, then that's 366 rows. That's a big blanket, and that's why some people will use a stitch that is like the linen or seed stitch, something that's really small. So that way, you can try to accommodate for that. But I knew that I would get bored or lose interest. And so I turned it into a sampler temperature blanket where every month I changed the stitch that we were using. And that was a huge learning experience. Like, there were things that went great and there were some things that didn't go great. And most of it involved tension, people's tension. But that's how I made it interesting, was I just changed the stitch up every month. So when it comes to, and temperature blankets are cool because they capture the memory of that year, the temperature of that year. So you can go back and you can see what was the dominant color. And, this year seemed to have a whole lot of blue. Oh, it must have been a cold year or a hot year. 10 seconds. I'm going to stand. And so they're cool in that regard. So I'm like, okay, well, if I'm going to do a circle, then it doesn't really matter how big it gets because it's just going to be like round and people can fold it in half, or there's a lot of things that you can do with that. Thank you so much. Timer's going off. Time for our stretch session. Stand up, everybody. Come on. Stand up. Just by standing, we are doing amazing things for our body. So the idea for this stretch session between the second and third 20-minute session is we've just spent at least 40 minutes sitting down working on a project. And we need to just get our body to do the reverse position than we were in. So that way we can help with circulation. We can help with circulation of blood, with oxygen. We can help prevent soreness, aches, and pains that will develop. It's just a lot of good things that we're supposed to do anyway as crocheters, but often don't, because it's just too easy for us to get comfortable, get situated in a project, and just go. So I'm forcing you to do it, at least every Wednesday. All right, so today we're not doing anything crazy. I do try to do at least something new every week to keep it interesting. But at this point, I think we're on week like 6. I'm just going to go ahead and just do some stretches that are very familiar to us. So what I try to focus on is I try to focus on the neck, the shoulders. Sometimes it's either the chest or our shoulders, then our forearms, our wrists, our fingers, and then our lower back. And so I try to go like from the top down. So we're going to start with neck rolls. I want you to take your head and I want you to tilt it to the right. Whew. And then I want you to roll it to the left. Slowly. Feel the whole thing. Oh boy. All right. And then forward, back to the right. Slowly. Oh, that felt good. All right. Now let's go back. So taking your neck and going back to the left. And then back to the right. Oh, that felt too good. I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to go forward to the left. And then forward to the right. And then back to the left. And then back to the right. Oh, that felt good. All right, so next I'm going to do shoulders. Whew, okay, so some of you, again, these are just suggestions. Please do modifications. That's best for your body. I'm not a doctor. I am not a physical therapist. I have no degree in this. I'm just helping you out with some stretches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to interlock my fingers in the back. I'm going to straighten my elbows, and I'm just going to lift up. And it's going to open my chest because, we've been working like this. Chest has been closed this way. We want to open it, do the opposite. If this is not something you're comfortable with, then just taking your arms and just go back as much as you can. Just back and up. Back up as much as you can. Just hold it for like 10 seconds. Nothing crazy. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, shake it out. Shake it out. All right, let's do our wrist. We're going to work on our forearms. So put your palm facing your face. Other hand, put your thumb behind your wrist. Your fingers on your palm so you can make it flat. We want our elbow bent right now. Once you have your hand flat, then we slowly stretch it out. And that stretches all of that really nice. Gives it. Sometimes when I've been crocheting for a long period of time and I do this, I'll hear like pop, 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 pop. And I'm like, ooh, that's not good. Went a little too long. All right, now reverse it. So now we want the back of our hand to face our face. Our thumb underneath our wrist. Make our hand flat, elbow bent, and straighten it out. And that will stretch out the other side of our arm. And we start with the elbow bent so that way we can get the position that we want. And then we slowly stretch it out because we're stretching all those tendons in the forearm. And we don't want to start with them already stretched. We want them to be loose and then stretch them. Right, other hand. So palm facing our face, thumb behind the wrist. We want our hand to be flat, elbow bent, stretch. I give it about 10 seconds and then do the other side. So hand, wrist flat, elbow bent, stretch, 10 seconds. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that's interesting. This time I really felt it in this forearm. Okay. I'm going to skip wrists. If you want to do wrists, doing simple wrist rolls, it's going to be great. I'm going to do fingers though. I didn't do these last time and I missed it because this is one of my favorite stretches. So you take your hand, you spread your fingers out. Then you take your other hand and you just gently bend your finger back for like 5 seconds and then skip to the next one. Now we're not yanking. We're not putting extreme pressure on these fingers. We're just simply giving a little weight, giving it a stretch. We want to feel that stretch down the palm of our hand. Just feels so good. Feels so good. I use my hands all the time. And whenever I get massages, I don't know if you guys have ever done this before, but very rarely I will get a massage and I will have them focus on my hands and my feet. I'm like, please, just like my forearms and my hands and my feet. Like, those are my hot spots. Next hand, spread your fingers real wide. Again, like 5 seconds, nothing crazy. One, two, three, 4, 5. Then if you're not feeling it in your thumb, I've seen people take the thumb and then like really pull it down. So it's not like here. We want it like down and then back. So you can really like feel it all right here. 5. All right. Last thing I want to do is lower back. Now there's a couple options. You can either do a twist or you can do a bend. I'm going to do the touch your toes forward bend to relieve some of the tension in my lower back. So I'm just going to drop my hands forward. I really like this one. This one feels really good. But if it doesn't feel good for you, or if this is something you cannot do, you can do one of the other ones. Whatever feels best for you. I promise I'm not saying that condescending. I really mean that. I'm leaning forward and for some reason my voice is affected. Okay, so that's it. That's all we got to do. It doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be long. It just has to be enough to put your body in a different position than what it was just in for 40 solid minutes. Okay. Bravo. Good job. I hope that you feel a lot better now. I hope that really helped refresh you. Mary, I hope that woke you up a little bit. Nessa says you just finished weaving in your ends for the warm-up. Mary swears. Yes, I actually have them right here. I have a bunch right here that I still need to join together. So I haven't joined them together yet. I considered doing that as one of my 20-minute things, but then I was like, no, I'm going to end up focusing way too much on it. And I'll just do that one after. Haven't decided if I make more before. Do whatever you want to do. If you want to make more, that is amazing. And yeah, feel free to make as many as you want before you send them to me. Cool. I am all for it. I'm glad that you're having fun. I'm glad that you're doing it. That's neat. That's awesome. Oh, that's what I was doing. I was going to lower my camera. Okay. And here we go, guys. Last 20-minute session has begun. All right, so this is our third last session of today. Working together. Grab your third project that you are going to work on. Focus solely on. And mine is going to be these granny squares. I got these humongous Pound of Love skeins of yarn a couple months ago. They were on sale And I was doing a thing where I was on Pinterest and I was looking up color palettes, and I was finding some really pretty color palettes. And I was like, man, I really do need to try to make a plan of what I would like, what colors I would like to try to find for a project, and then go to the store with the plan and try to find the colors. You know, that would be smart. Do we do it all the time? No. Usually it's, oh, that's pretty. I'm sure I'll find something to do with that. Like, yeah. 10 years later, like, nope. So I came in with, I think I had like 4 or 5 different color palettes that I had found on Pinterest that I thought looked really pretty together. And that's always a good idea to come in with more than one, because it is rare for you to find colors that match exactly to exactly what you're looking for. In fact, I think 2 of the color palettes, I was not able to find yarn that actually matched the colors that were part of the palette. If you go online has a lot more options. You can definitely make a lot more happen, find a lot more colors online. But for me, I went to Joann's. And these colors, there's like 4 of them. There's this one, and this one. And then there's like a cookie dough color that's over there. And they matched a picture that I was aiming for. I was like, cool, that's awesome. I want to do something vintage with it. I want to have that old vibe. And so I'm going to make granny squares with these 3 colors, and that cookie dough or sugar cookie, whatever it's called, I have the label. I'm going to use that color to join everything together. I'm curious to see how that affects everything, because you know how usually we'll use white. White is a very common color to join with, or the cream or the off-white color, you know. But I'm like, no, I'm going to actually take that color and I'm going to use it in the granny square, and I'm going to take that soft brown color and I'm going to use that color to join everything with. You'll see how it comes out when I get there. And then I've been fascinated by how many different ways you can use granny squares. It's crazy. It's crazy. And so I think I saw a picture. Somebody made a duffel bag. Like, that's neat. I would use that. How cool is that? And so I'm like, now I want to try to do it. I want to try and make it happen. I actually have a couple different granny square projects going on right now. They're just so different. Gabalot, how are you doing on your granny square project? It's on hold. Okay. I mean, you were working pretty hard at that one. I could see needing a break. What else did I want to talk? See, I told you we get to the 3rd session and I'm like, I think we get to the 3rd session and then I just want to crochet. I'm like, okay, I just want to crochet now. Oh, okay. I can talk about that topic. 14 minutes and 30 seconds left. On Instagram, I reached out to people a couple weeks ago and asked them if they had any questions. And I had 3 people ask questions. And one of those questions, I still need to do a live, or not a live, a story response to answer these questions. I'm embarrassed by how long it's been since I asked and they asked these questions. I need to get to those this week. But one of the questions was, how do you crochet faster? What are some tips, tricks on how to crochet faster as a newer crocheter? And that question, it made me pause. And it definitely it got me feeling like a couple feelings. Like I had like a couple emotions happen with that question, because I know it's not the first time somebody has ever asked that question. How can I crochet faster? Especially as for somebody who's newer. But my first thought was, it comes with just repetition. It comes with practice. The more you do it, the more you are developing and creating a muscle memory. And then when you start crocheting, it's like driving. You know, when you've driven the same destination multiple times to the point where you get in the car and you know, oh, I gotta go to work, or oh, I gotta go to the grocery store, or oh, I gotta go here or there. And like, you remember getting in the car and then you're there and you're like, wait a second, there was a journey from point A to point B. I just don't remember what that was. I just remember kind of like getting in the car and then getting to my destination. And crocheting will end up being like that, where you just kind of fall into your muscle memory, you fall into place. You don't even focus so much on yarning over, pulling the loop through your crochet hook. You just kind of go. And that all comes from just doing something over and over and over and over and over again. And so when somebody says, I'm new and I want to crochet faster, I'm like, okay, well, how about tips and tricks? You know, tips and tricks. If you are dealing with yarn and it keeps slipping off your crochet hook and that's frustrating, then you can try working with a wooden crochet hook that has a little more friction. So that way it grabs it and you can work a little bit faster because the friction is there. Or what were some of the other ones? Oh, you could prep the materials ahead of time. Sometimes it's good to, especially with certain yarns, the more you play with yarns, the more you discover which ones you need to do this to and which one not. But there are some yarns that constantly have knots in the middle of them, or they constantly do that yarn barf thing. And it's so frustrating because, you know, especially when you pull that big yarn barf out of the center of a yarn, that, oh, bye, Pam. Thank you so much for being here. I'm glad that you were able to rest and hang out. You know, as soon as you pull that yarn barf out of a skein of yarn, that there's a knot in there somewhere, and at some point you're going to have to stop everything that you're doing and sort out that knot. And so with some yarns, I've figured out that is a common problem, and it makes sense to roll that yarn into a ball before you certain things like that. And so, yes, there are ways to avoid things that'll set you back, trip you up, by prep work and the materials that you use. But then there's also the matter of enjoy the journey too. I hear that a lot. Anybody else hear that a lot? I'm hearing that all the time. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. And it might have a lot to do with the content that I watch and I listen to, because I'm constantly listening and watching and watching content to help me be a better content provider, be better with how I record the information that I record, provide more value to people. I watch a lot of videos. I listen to a lot of podcasts on how to just bring more value and, how to produce better content. And so I hear that phrase, like, enjoy the journey, a lot. But crochet is beautiful, and it's an art form, and it's creativity, and it's, it does those things for us, like, the stress relief and the meditation, and, we get so much joy out of crocheting. It's special. Like, why rush it in a sense, like, enjoy it, enjoy the project. And if you're not enjoying the project, then figure out why you're not enjoying the project. Are you bored? Is the color just not doing it for you? Is the stitch not doing it for you? Is the project too big and you're like, oh my gosh, this is just overwhelming? Like, what is it that is causing you to not enjoy the process anymore? And then adjust. Like, I've learned that I have issues with boredom in projects. And so when I attack larger projects, I know, okay, if the person that I'm making this for only wants the one color and they want the one stitch, I'm like, okay, I know I'm going to get bored after so long. I need to make sure I have like 2 other projects that I can align with this project. So when I reach a certain point of project number 1, like, okay, I'm starting to get close to that burnout on you. I'm going to now go to project number 2, spend a little bit of time with project number 2, and then go back to project number 1. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good now. Get a few rows. Oh, I'm starting to feel it again. Oh, project number 3, something fast, simple, quick win, like a washcloth or something, a soap sack, something I can make really fast, get that endorphin release, a dopamine release, make me feel good for finishing a project, and then go back to project 1 until, and do this bouncy thing until I finish the project that somebody asked me to make them. But generally, I'm one of those people, I have to have like 2 or 3 different crochet stitches within the project, so that way I can keep myself interested or stimulated with what's going on. Like, oh, okay, I only have like 3 rows of this. Okay, that's fine. I can do that. Okay, now I'm switching it up. Great. And so that's one thing that I'll do, or I will use a yarn that is just beautiful. And I am not focused at all on what stitch I'm using. I'm focused more on seeing how this yarn is like playing out. Love that. That's so much fun. So in that regard, yeah, if I going back to trying to crochet faster, if there is a reason why I'm trying to get through a project quickly, maybe it's a baby shower, a baby blanket, a project, birthday present, Christmas present, some occasion, something where the due date is important, like it's coming. Got 4 minutes and 45 seconds. I get needing to make something faster. Maybe try prioritizing time. I know I'm preaching to the choir right now. Like, just making sure that if somebody is pregnant, like, okay, tell me your due date. I need to put it on a calendar. I need to circle it in red, so that way I can constantly look and see it getting closer to that due date, so that way I can give myself time to enjoy that project and not feel rushed. But essentially, try not to just rush through things. Try to enjoy it. And if you're not enjoying it, figure out why and adjust. So those were my soapbox like thoughts that came with that question. Like, why do we need to rush it? Why do we need to go faster? And then really honestly, it's if you're new and you're trying to go faster, there's nothing you can do about it. It's just keep doing it. Just keep going. Just keep doing it and it'll come. Keep doing it, it'll come. Oh, Brenda. A paw print grant. Oh. Ooh. Look at different join methods. If you are at the point now where you're needing to get motivated to put it together, find one that's really different, really cool. I thought the crab stitch join method was really neat. I actually used it. I have it here. It's using a reverse single crochet stitch. So it feels really weird. And it's not hard. It's just wrapping your head around the concept that gets people. But it looks really cool. There we go. Sometimes it's nice that I kept these projects. I just haven't running out of room. So you may or may not remember seeing this tutorial on my channel where I showed people how to make a lined bag real quick. But the join method is that crab stitch. And I thought it was both beautiful and it kept my attention because I was doing something that was weird. And I was like, this is different. Like, okay. Like, and so because I just was nervous and curious about the whole idea of everything that I was doing, I was like engaged with every stitch, it felt like. And then eventually you just start to get comfortable and you speed up. So that's one idea. Not saying you have to do it, just an idea. But the mattress stitch join, that one is also really cool. So you are thinking about doing a joining method that you can't really see the yarn that you're joining with. Another cool one to do would be the invisible joining method, where you are putting your yarn needle like in the middle of one V and poking out the middle of the next V. I think I showed that in my I did a video on my 3 favorite joining methods, and that one would be in there. It was a really cool idea, really cool concept. That sounds so cute. Okay, now I really want to do a paw print granny square something. 30 seconds. We got 30 seconds. I also saw something on Pinterest, I think. I want to create something, I don't know what, with a granny square that has a sun in the middle, a granny square with a moon in the middle, and a granny square with a star in the middle. Like, I thought they were so pretty, especially with the color combinations. Yeah, using a really cool color combination is awesome. But those 3 shapes were really neat. All right, that's it. Our timer is up for session number 3. Feel free to take this time to either wrap up your last row or whatever it is that you are doing and put your projects nice and neatly back where they were when you found them. Unless you finished them. Oh, thank you, Brenda. That would be awesome. I'd love to see a picture. I hope that this time was valuable for you and that you were able to chisel away a little bit at certain WIPs that you have going on, certain projects that you've been sitting on for a long time. I hope it helped. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. And I really hope that I get a chance to see you next week, Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Love a celestial themed blanket or a pulp. I know we're on the same wavelength right now, Nessa. That's where I'm going with it. Both. Oh my gosh, I don't need any more projects. Oh my gosh. I had the best time with you guys. I hope you have an amazing day. Those of you who are part of my crochet club, I will be making another post in there about tonight's meeting. I hope I can see you on Saturday, where we're going to talk about ease and how that pertains to projects. But until then, I hope you guys have a beautiful week, and I'll see you very soon. Bye, everybody. Oh my gosh.